Hi, it's Travis here, and welcome back to our adventures in Azeroth. Last episode, we went to Sunspring Post and fought against a bunch of lost ones. We also did some quests with a mage by the name of Fensky. He helped us do a couple of quests. We got a decent amount of XP. I think we turned in like 4 to 5 quests last episode, which was pretty damn awesome. So we are going to head back up that way. And we're going to do some more quests in the Grand. And I think we may be fighting some ogres today. We're going to take a break from the Lost Ones. Been getting some decent progress in the Grand the last 3 to 4 episodes, which has been nice. I don't know how much longer we'll be in the Grand. Maybe for a bit longer. Gonna look for Seth the Call's dungeon while we quest today. It's one of the only dungeons we have not done. Looks like Hala is under attack. Maybe the Alliance are trying to get the buff, which means we may lose Strength of Alani soon. But yeah, we're almost 68. Time flies. I remember first episode when we were going through the portal to Outland. And now we're almost 68. I'm thinking about which zone we should go to next after this. Maybe Blade's Edge Mountain. We've been in Hellfire Peninsula, we've been to Zangarmarsh, we've been to Terakar Forest. We'll be in the Grand for a little while longer. And then I think Blade's Edge Mountain will be next. And then once we hit 68, we will be able to go to Netherstorm, because we'll have our flying ability. We'll have Flight Form, which is great. So I think these guys are just outside of Sunspring Post that I'm looking for here. Elder Yorli.
Loktar.
They have no respect for the dead, Tauren. The ogres must be taught a lesson. War on the Warmaul. We were en route to the ancestral grounds when we were ambushed by the Warmaul. They came from all sides, killing several of the procession guards and many of the others. They even desecrated the remains of the elder in the wagon. And for what? So they could humiliate us and display their power? Not even Boulder Fist have sunk that low. I am a spiritual orc flight carrier, and even I have limitations. Find the attackers at Warmaul Hill to the northwest and destroy them. Looks like we're going to have to slay 15 Warmaul Brutes and 15 Warmaul Warlocks. That should be a decent amount of XP right there. I thought our days fighting the Warmaul were over, but it looks like there are some more that we're going to have to deal with. And I actually thought that the lost ones that were at Sunspring Post were the ones that we had to deal with, or they were the ones that took down their wagon. Because we did see a young Sourfang last episode. Supposedly he went into like a crazy rage and slayed a bunch of lost ones. I don't know if maybe he slayed a bunch of Warmaul ogres as well. Now he's going on his own path. Eventually he will join the Horde. Yeah, we haven't fought these Warmaul yet. There's like a cave up here too that we can check out. Shot of bolts sit for a lot. There's also been some new news about WoW Classic regarding the hardcore leveling community. They're getting a new buff in the game, and I believe it's called the Soul of Iron. And what this buff does, it's kind of like a flexing, like a buff that you have that just shows that you've never died. And I think it gives you like 1% to all stats. I'm not too sure about that, but supposedly when you lose that buff, you lose 1% to all your attributes. So I assume that it gives you that. I probably should have got on the imp here. But yeah, they're going to add that to the game, so you're going to be able to talk to a high elf at any major city and get this buff. And you can only get that buff if you have never died. If you've died, then you won't be able to receive it. And it'll just be up on here on your bar, and it'll say that you have never known defeat. That's all it says. So that's pretty cool. It allows people to, you know, show that they've never died. Which I think really helps the hardcore community, because really the only way people were able to prove it before was by video, by using, you know, they had to film it or stream it. That was the only way people could prove that they didn't die from 1 to 60. I think it's a really good add to the game. Great addition to the game, that's for sure. And I hope they add more cool stuff like that to Classic over time. It's cool that they're actually listening to the community as well. And even though, like, the hardcore community isn't a big community, it's kind of like a small, pretty niche community, it's nice that they're listening to them. So I think that's what WoW is, really. It's just a collection of, you know, of people who like to do different things in the game. Some people like to collect mounts, some people like to collect transmogs, some people like to raid, some people like to PvP, some people like to roleplay, some people just like to quest. I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to give Soul of Iron playthrough a try eventually when the new Classic Fresh comes out. I wonder what we do with all these war beads. I have like probably I have 100 of them. I have 51. That's a lot. There's probably a quest somewhere that we can go to and turn those in. These warlocks get rocked. Gear's pretty damn good. Well, for leveling, I think at our current level we have some decent gear. That's one thing I like about Feral. They're really strong single target class. It doesn't take me long to deal with really any mob 1v1s. Just when you get overwhelmed by multiple mobs, you tend to have trouble. It's when you wish you were a mage. That mage yesterday was just AoEing everything with Arcane Explosion. It was pretty awesome. Okay. I'm getting rid of these warlocks pretty damn quick. I'm gonna make sure I deal with this. I wonder if I should even deal with the imp, because the imp will just die one shot. I think we can take the hits. It's better for me to actually use my ravages on the warlock, because the warlock doesn't stay alive very long. Yeah, and I'll probably just like two-shot this imp, I should say. I also have been using that purified drainic water. We've been collecting a lot of that. Here it is right there. 7,200 mana. Guess we'll just save that until we run out. We only have 4 mana left of the filtered drainic water, so it's good that we've been collecting that. Wonder how much that sells for on the auction house. Probably sells for a decent amount. But maybe mages have probably craft better water than that. Oh, we got a rogue coming out of here. See that? Oh, yeah, there's alliance too. Probably farming some ores or something like that. Yeah, it's good to see that WoW's getting some updates. Always good to hear new news about the game. They have so many games going on now, especially once Classic Fresh comes out. They're going to have Classic WoW, they're going to have TBC, and they're going to have Retail. So that's 3 games that are going to be getting like constant updates, which is kind of crazy. It's going to be like, probably be seeing like an update every couple of days about what's going on in those games. And then eventually they'll have Wrath coming up. I wonder if they'll ever do like a TBC Fresh. I wonder if there will be like a demand for that. I think that would be a while away. If they ever did a TBC Fresh, because I expect TBC to be done probably by next year. Maybe this time next year. TBC will be finished, and then I would assume by Christmas of 2022 we'll see the release of Wrath. Maybe in 2023. Which means we would see like maybe a TBC Fresh in 2024, or who knows. I don't know how they're going to manage all this, like all these expansions. And the next thing you know, Cataclysm Classic will come out. It's kind of crazy. I assume they need they have like a team for every expansion now. They have a TBC team. They probably have like a classic team, or maybe they just have just a classic team and they just manage all the expansions. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, we're getting revenge right now against the Warmaul ogres. It's weird how the ogres still have influence in TBC, even after they supposedly were defeated, right? Supposedly the ogres were defeated back in Draenor, which is Outland, correct? Because the orcs they drank the blood, and then they became, possessed, and they took over pretty much all of Outland. Or maybe that's where we are right now. I think that's where we are right now. These are like the last ogre tribes that are around. Oh, Warmaul Chief Bufferlow. Level 66. Don't think we could defeat this guy. We could give it a try. Here, I'll give myself some hots. I'll have to wait to get stealth. One day a hero will rise and lift the orcs up to their former glory. You damn right. Get in the stew. Interested to see if we can beat this guy. Can't really kite him because we will most likely run into more ogres. So I'm just gonna try to stand up and fight him. I am going to have to no, we can't miss like that, dude. No, we're gonna die, dude. I hate how, like, I can't root either. Run away! We're gonna die. Unless I can find a clean way out. Doesn't look like I can. Okay, good. That's somewhat okay. No, it's not. Oh, God. This is bad. Use like a innervate, maybe. Gosh, this sucks. I'm gonna die here. I had to, like, I was so close to being alive. It's gotta be away from. No, you got a warlock here now. No, that's too bad. So yeah, if you want to fight that guy, you literally have to, like, clear out the entire area. He's beatable if you're able to kite him. I think. I hate taking gray screens though. That's kind of sucked. Thing is, we didn't have to fight him, but I wanted to try it. And I tried it, and we got away. We didn't die to him, but some dumb ogre Pat came behind us and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" We died. And the thing is, we could have maybe beaten that ogre Pat. Like, I tried. But that warlock came and was like, "Hey, I'm finishing you off." Okay, so we gotta go this way. Yeah, it was a tough fight. I assume we might have a quest to fight him. And I would be willing to try to fight him again. But that would require me to clear the entire cave, because you need room to kite. If you don't have room to kite, then you won't live, because we can't just stand up to him like that. He's gonna hit us way too hard. I should probably start the fight with Barkskin. I think that would help a bit. Yeah, looks like we got put in the stew. Hope I'm going the right way. It's not looking good right now. Yeah, there's the cave right there. Is this really the cave? I hope it is. Pretty sure it is. No. We're in another cave. Let's up this hill here. Looks like Garadar's under attack. Looks like the Alliance are doing some work here today. Shouldn't have died. If I was fast enough, I think I could have got stealth off. That's the good thing about being a rogue, you know? You just vanish and boom. Fight's reset. It's the only thing a druid doesn't have is vanish. But if they gave Druid's Vanish, that would be a little ridiculous. Okay, so we're inside here, right? Just gotta make sure we res in the right spot. We are going to be in a tight situation. We lost all of our buffs, which is sad too. So we're gonna make our way out of here. Once we're done this drink. So we only need how many more to go? How many more do we need? 4 of each. It's not too bad. I just thought the armor looked weird. It looks like they're wearing like seashells on their chest and their stomach. I think the Warlock armor looks pretty cool though. Oh man, I didn't notice that little imp right there. I wonder how we would... Thing is, he won't run out here. If you could get him out here, it'd be amazing. Because then I'd be able to root him. One thing that sucks about elite cave fights as a druid is you can't root inside. You can only root outdoors. So inside that cave, I can't root him either. So I have no CC. I could have, other than stunts. That's it. That's really all I have. So it's kind of tough. And like, there's not a lot of kiting room because there's just not a lot of room in there. They really need to be able to kite if I want to beat them. But I haven't really like fought many of the elites solo here. I don't think I've fought any of them solo in Grant. Kind of avoided that. But I think at like certain levels it's pretty damn possible. I think we could probably defeat that one at 67 with him being 66. Here we go to deal with this Warlock. One more after this. One more Warlock and we're done. If I can kick this. Okay. Alright, let's get this last Warlock and then head back down to the old man and tell him that everything's okay. The orcs have gotten their revenge. I'll fight this guy. This ogre looks pretty cool. The yellow eyes look pretty cool too. Wish you could be an ogre in WoW. I think they just don't allow it because they're too big. Your mounts would be huge. Like this Kodo would be like the size of the entrance of this place. It'd be cool if you could be an ogre. I think the ogres would be a popular race in the game if you were allowed to be one. Oh, getting some shadow bolts casted on us. Oh, I think we'll be okay. Oh wow, we lost like over half our health. That's a rough way to die, fall damage. Pretty rough. Alright, well, let's see what's going on here. See what he has to say. They had no respect for the dead, Tauren. The ogres must be taught a lesson. It is a good start, but their leader must be dealt with for your actions to have any lasting impact. So I think that, yeah, Chowar the Pillager, that was the guy we just fought. Have you ever seen an ogre king, Tauren? If you have and lived to tell the tale. Unfortunately, that is exactly what we are dealing with here. The leader of these barbarians is an ogre named Chowar. Rumor has it that Chowar was the ogre responsible for forcing the Gron out of the cave. Chowar then declared himself king and dissolved the ogre clans and served under the Gron. Thus Warmaul was born. Find Chowar deep in the cave of Warmaul Hill, slay him and bring me his head.
Be safe.
Alright, so we tried that. And I think it's possible to do. And I think we'll do that next episode because I'm going to have to clear out the dungeon. And I may have to go back to town and see if we can make some different types of potions to deal with them.
What do you need?
Because we do have some elixirs we can use. We do have enough health pots, which is nice. And we do... I think we'll use the elixir of mastery. But we'll give it a try next episode. That's for sure. See what we can do. I'm going to get some Wartronic water, though. There we go.
Strength.
But that is the end of today's episode, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.